Snell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL Dolphins Talk here on TFTG. I'm Papa Paul, your host. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning this morning. It's a beautiful day out here in Brooksville, Florida. Let me go ahead and bring on my co-host, Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Papa Paul? Good morning. How are you, brother?
I'm fine and dandy, above ground and upright. That's all that matters.
There you go.
Let's bring on to the panel Mr. Joe Rist. Haven't seen you in a while, Joe. How you doing?
Joe, what's up, brother?
Doing?
Good,
We're here.
I'm particularly elated this week because it's like the first domino has finally fallen.
Yeah, Halloween turned into kind of like Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And for those that have been hiding under a rock, if you don't know by now, Chris Greer has been fired or let go or mutually released, whatever you want to call it. But for those of you who don't know the whole story, that McDaniels won't be let go before the end of the season, really, because Ross, since he's owned the team, has never fired a coach or a GM in the same year.
Yep, it's a wait and see. McDaniel might be here next year. He might not. We'll wait and see at the end of the season, see how we finish out here. It was amazing. Played such a great game against Atlanta and come on against Baltimore and just lay an egg, one turnover, and it just seemed like that was the entire game right there. Let Baltimore get a 7-3 lead, and the game was basically over at that point.
Yeah, it didn't go well, that's for sure.
Well, you were there. The turnover happened in the air, just came out of the stadium. Everybody was like, oh, here we go again. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I know. Well, it didn't help to begin with that it was more like we were at an away game than a home game.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem of having a team in Florida is that you got too many people that live there, either buy the tickets just to resell them. And listen, I'm sure people that had the tickets on the away side that sold them made very good money because the Baltimore fans were there in droves. It was probably 50-50 or maybe even 55 Baltimore, 45 Miami fans.
I would almost say 60-40.
Could have been. I mean, it's that whole away side was nothing but purple.
Yeah. The upper level was at least 70% purple at the upper level.
Damn. Down where I was at, it was mostly Dolphins fans, but it's just it's tough. The team's in Florida. It's a vacation spot. People move there from all over the country, and some of them just buy the tickets literally to resell them and make money, and they know the away fans are going to pay the price.
Yeah, especially as it starts to get colder in some of those other regions where the away fans are coming from.
Oh, yeah, they make a vacation out of it. They come down and go to Disney or the beaches or the Keys, and the game is just part of their vacation, and they don't mind paying the money to get in the stadium. So, and when the Dolphins are this bad, Dolphins fans for whatever reason don't want to go, and I hear the voices saying boycott the team and don't go, and I understand why. They haven't put a good product out there, but I honestly didn't expect to see a good product this year, so I'm not surprised.
Are either of you guys baseball fans? Did you see the World Series end last night?
Yeah, I always watch the World Series. I'm not a big baseball guy.
I didn't watch it, but I seen the highlights of it and stuff.
Dodgers win again. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots of back then.
Well, back-to-back wins, the first time in 25 years.
Yeah, but I think they've been in the World Series like pretty much every time the last few years.
Yeah, they've had a very good team the last 5-10 years, so they're winning. And they're spending the money to win, so it's, and baseball is different than football.
Yeah. So do you guys think this Greer firing is like our first step towards moving on from Tua?
Well, I mean, it's hard to move on from Tua just because of the number for next year. Unless we're going to pull, like a Denver move and just let him go and pay the salary and go with somebody else. It's you're putting yourself in a cap bind and a lot of dead money. So it's my big thing is when they let Greer go and not McDaniel, it's like, all right, now the GM that you're going to try to bring in or sit down and talk to. Is Ross going to say, okay, you have to keep McDaniel, you'll have to keep Tua? What kind of GM are you going to get? You're going to get somebody who doesn't have the experience or, doesn't want to sit there and say yes, sir, all the time. So you're going to get a yes man. And that has proven over the last 25 years that the yes men don't work.
Right.
Yeah.
The days of getting a Bill Parcells in where he just walks in and says, listen, I'm making all the decisions. You don't like it, don't hire me. And you're handicapping and strapping your GM when you do that, because if he always has to answer to somebody else, it's hard for him to do their job.
Well, it's like someone said it's what's his name, 2.0, the guy who owns the Cowboys.
Jerry Jones?
Yeah, Jerry Jones 2.0 is Ross.
Well, I mean, look at Dallas's history. It's proven that that's the way it is. When Jerry Jones first bought the team, he brought in Jimmy Johnson, gave him control. Jimmy built a team, won 2 Super Bowls. They had a disagreement. He gets rid of him. They win another one with Switzer as coach, but it was still Jimmy Johnson's team. Switzer gets credit for it because he was the head coach, but that was still Jimmy Johnson's team. And then when all the players that Johnson drafted were getting older, retiring, getting traded, going away in free agency, what have they done since? Nothing.
Yeah.
Jerry's got his hands in everything, and I get it. You're the owner. You spend all this money, but hire people that know what they're doing and let them do their jobs.
Hey, when's the last time
morning, winners.
Go ahead.
You there, Derek?
Yeah, good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning, Derek. How are you, brother?
Oh, not too bad. Just at least we don't have to worry about another loss today on Sunday and make our mood for the rest of the week terrible.
Yep, we get to relax on Sunday and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, speaking of Jerry Jones, when's the last time we've seen Ross get in front of a microphone and camera?
Well, that's the thing, is he's not like Jones in that way where he's always got to have the spotlight on him and, have his face out there. But I know some people, they like Ross. I haven't liked him since he bought the team. I thought he was just doing it to build his portfolio, and that's exactly what he's done. He's put the track in, he's put the tennis courts in, he does all this stuff, and it's just building his portfolio. The guy bought the team for $1 billion. It's now worth damn near 10, which, hey, he's an investor. That's what he does. But, put a product on the field that the rest of it, that the fans can actually go and enjoy and see and, have some consistency. No, we had 2 decent years, made the playoffs, lost in the first round each time. Last year, missed the playoffs. This year, there's no way we're going to the playoffs. It's not even a question. I mean, we're horrible. It's a garbage. It's dumpster fire. As Russell always says, softer than cotton candy. And it's just, we pay good money to go to the games. You buy merchandise. You do all this stuff, and you're getting nothing out of it.
So I don't think cotton candy is a good term.
Oh, Russell says it all the time, and I started using it because I love it because it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, from the head coach down, everybody's just soft.
Did you see where the Lions are giving a bobblehead away today for Amon St. Brown, where he's upside down? Like, we get something at the beginning of the season. The Lions have got like 10 things already free to the season ticket holders.
We were in Atlanta, and as you walked in, they had so many boxes of shirts. Every single person that walked in that stadium got a T-shirt, and every single seat in the entire stadium had a flag of the Falcons logo that said "Rise Up." Every single seat.
Yeah, there was the flag there in my seat, but we didn't get any shirts or anything.
Oh, you didn't get the shirts when you were coming in?
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the people I was with, they missed them. I'm like, did you guys get shirts? Like, no, what are you talking about? I said, they're giving away these big boxes. So I walked over and got a couple more. I gave them all to kids. I was looking for, Atlanta fans with kids. And I'm like, here, you want a shirt? And they were like, oh, my God, thank you. But they had so many boxes of shirts. And maybe it wasn't everybody that walked in, but everybody got a flag. And it was funny. They all got flags, and a lot of the Atlanta fans left them sitting there. But
yeah.
We don't even get that. We don't even get that.
No,
the first 10,000 fans that come in get something. Well, it's not even the first 10,000 because the first people in are asking for, hey, can I get one for my friend? Can I get this? And they're just handing them out as quick as they can so they can stop doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you seat 64,000 and you're only giving out 10,000 or something, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And he's got enough money to where he should be able to give us something.
Well, they gave the seats out when you came into the parking lot. I don't know if you guys saw that. They gave out these little seats. It's a backpack, and then you open it up, and it turns into like a little stool that's like maybe 2 feet high. So as you were parking, at least in Orange Park, and they were giving them out.
Yeah, I read the comments on it. Not very many people got them, though. There was only a couple hundred of them.
Well, it's funny because we got there, and we were in line, and one of the guys came out and said, hey, when you go in, they're giving out 1 chair per car. No, they were giving out, if you had 4 people in a car, they were giving you 4 chairs.
Again, they were probably just trying to get rid of them so they could get out of there.
Yep.
So Alonzo Highsmith has expressed his interest in the Miami Dolphins GM role. What do we think about this?
I don't know who that is.
I like the second part of the comment, Barry Jackson. I think I'd rather have him. But hey, they're going to go through their process, and he's going to talk to them, and whatever he's looking for, which we don't know what he's looking for, a yes man or somebody to actually come in and take control and do everything. We'll see.
I want Louis Riddick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple good candidates out there, but when they sit down with Ross and he tells them what he's looking for, they may not be interested.
Yeah.
And I don't want a guy to come in and use it as a stepping stone and be a first-time GM and then in 2 years leave because another franchise offered him more control or something.
Or maybe they don't want McDaniel. How do you fire the GM and then say, oh, most of the reports are saying that he's going to possibly there for more years,
Well, if you missed it earlier, Derek, where I said that Ross has never fired a GM and a coach in the same year.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Well, maybe he ought to change his ways since his system isn't working.
Yeah.
And part of
when was our last GM fired? Was it who was the
Two-
coach at the time?
Jeff Ireland, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2015, I believe, 2016.
Who was the coach?
You'd have to go back and look.
The last coach,
It's pretty rare that GMs get fired and the coach stays around to tell the tale like a year after. It's got to be like
it's
a
rare
certain
for other
scenario.
teams, not our team.
Right. Like I know the Jets did it when they had Rex Ryan. They got rid of what's his name? That was the GM there. I forget.
Well, I mean, part of the stat that Papa Paul read, I mean, Greer's been GM since 2016, and how many coaches have we gone through? So it's normally the coach that goes, and Greer stuck around. Well, this time it was Greer's turn. So, you know, I wish they would have just got rid of both of them and just, you know, okay, interim GM, and then we'll do the interview process, hire a GM, and then hire a new coach.
It was Gase, Flores, and McDaniel, right? And did we have anyone else before Gase when?
Well, you figure this is McDaniel fourth year. Flores was only 2 or 3 years. Gase was 3 years. All right, 3 years, 3 years. So that's 10 right there. So yeah, those are the three since since Greer took over.
I wonder what Gase is doing now.
I'm probably teaching a Pop Warner team. The guy sucks.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sharif.
Sharif, what's up, brother? Talk about a guy who just, you know, looked like he was out of place. He would just stare at the camera with his big old bug eyes, and it's like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, you guys remember that interview where he was like, it looked like he was chasing a fly around the room?
Yeah. Looked like he was wasted.
Yeah.
And then the Jets go and sign him. I'm like, man, I hope they sign him to a lifetime contract, which obviously they didn't, but
yeah, it was a very Jets thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. But problem is now we got people saying, yeah, that's a very Miami thing to do.
Fuck, you're right.
Hear me out on this question. So what if McDaniels wasn't really the problem and Greer wouldn't let McDaniel draft some of the people he wanted? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, no, it's definitely possible because I've said this since we started our show, you know, getting close to 3 years now. We're not in the building. We don't get to hear conversations. We're not in the war room. We don't know what their board looks like. Yeah. We're not in those conversations from owner down on which players they want, who's actually making the picks. You know, does the GM make the pick? Does the coach have some input? Is the owner coming in saying, no, this is the guy I want? We don't have privy to any of that. We just know from the top down right now, our team sucks. It's a dumpster fire. They're softer than cotton candy. It's got to the point where, listen, I'm still going to the games. I paid for it. I'm flying. I'm doing everything. But it's to hang out with the people and you know, that stuff more than it is the games because I already know what the game's going to look like. You know, I'm flying down Friday for the game on Sunday. We're going to get our asses kicked. Then I'm flying to Spain. Washington's probably going to walk all over us in Spain, even though it's our home game. But it is what it is. I'm going to hang out with all the Finns fans and tailgating and doing all that stuff.
Yep, I'm doing the same thing. I know we're gonna get killed at the Bills game, but you know, my wife's going with me. She gets to hang out with some people and some friends that she grew up with in Buffalo, and it's like it's a win-win for me. You know, I get to see everybody. You know, extended birthday weekend. So
that's what's up, man. And let me just say this. You know, we've come to a point since the pandemic. I remember when it was just Dudley and TD. And K flexing. That was it. It was just those street channels, and you can fan the way you want to fan, like the examples the brothers just showed. They just want to be a fan at this point, regardless of the losses always. And what has happened is people are gatekeeping us. People are telling us how we should fan. People are telling us we should put a player over being in debt in purgatory. And people are trying to tell us how to fan. And all I am here to tell people is I record data, meaning all press conferences, and I basically hold you to it. And so what it comes down to for me is $280 million that Greer spent since 2019, and the 11 draft picks, the one including the one on the boat with Brady. And just like Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Dwayne Wade and LeBron, yours failed. They actually won champion. Your 4-year window failed. It's no way else. Everyone who you drafted under 2019 and everyone who you drafted, Mr. Greer, it failed. It's not single out Tua, single out the special team, single out. You have to single out every draft pick since 2019, and it all failed. So I think we need a healing now. We don't need people to tell us to fan or love a player more than the Dolphin logo. We just need to recover. Let this season end. Let Cham Kelly evaluate who he wants to stay. Bring the new GM in, and let's start this process of wiping our tears, man. Because
I mean,
pandemic to now, it should just be us just loving our team. But people want to tell us what we should do with our own team.
Well, everybody has a different opinion on things and the way they look at things, and I understand that. If anybody's telling you how to fan, tell them to go fuck themselves. Everybody fans in a different way. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I'm at a point in life where I can fly to the games and go to all the home games and some away games, and everybody can't afford that. I don't think they're less of a fan because of that. You can rattle off all the stats and numbers and everything you want, and if you don't go to the games, that's how you fan. I've never been one of those people to say, well, if you don't do this or you don't do that, you're not a fan. Everybody fans differently. I don't know what anybody's personal life is, what their finances are. So I don't let that stuff get in the way of anything. If you're a fan and you're on here and you're talking Dolphins and you have an opinion, you're a fan.
And
I
right.
agree.
And so I find this, I hold you accountable to the press conferences that you said and what you said. And particularly when Greer and Flores came together as a partnership, it was like very rare in the NFL world. And the GM worked so well with the head coach. I thought it would have been a supreme tandem, and it failed. And now we're seeing 3 years later, it was Greer who failed everything and made all the wrong decisions. So that's how I find, and I'm not gonna hold Tua accountable. I'm not gonna put players down. The GM failed on every pick since, so it's over now, and we can recover. I'm a Dolphin.
Hey, can I ask you guys about some recent rumors and stuff around the trades? What you've been seeing? We have what?
I
2 days?
I knew this was coming up for today.
Yeah, we got what, 2 days till the end of the trade deadline or something like that.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday's the trade deadline.
So I saw a rumor that the Eagles were interested in Jalen Phillips.
Yep, saying because he had a relationship with
Fangio.
and Fangio really liked him, that they want to bring him in as an edge rusher. There's rumors on Waddle. There's rumors on a Chan. Depends on which way Ross wants to take the team. Is he going to gut it and get rid of the salaries and go from there, or is he going to keep the players that are actually producing and try to build around them? We're going to find out shortly.
Yeah.
Well, see, what I've seen is there's interest in Waddle, but Waddle is not for sale, from what I see. Heard.
Man, if we have people interested in Dolphins players, we need to go ahead and move them because that's the highest value they're going to get.
I mean, I wouldn't get rid of Achan. I mean, he's one of our things. I would keep Phillips, but I'd be like, all right, you've been hurt 2 out of your 5 years. Here's what we're going to give you. Take it. I mean, they had trading, we get some value.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lose Waddle. You know what I mean? Because then you don't have anybody. Unless you decide to bring Hill back, if he even was able to come back.
I think Achan is one we should look at moving. As painful as it would be, running back careers aren't that long. So by the time, if we are trying to reset here instead of trying to make it work a third season in a row where we haven't seen it work,
Well, Achane is
he's going to be aged out before we can, set up properly.
What we haven't done here is we haven't looked at what scheme will be here in 2026, right? Because if we assume that Mike McDaniel will be let go at the end of the year, then what scheme? And then we start to go back to trade week, which is Tuesday, 2 p.m. So what scheme will be here in 2026? And now I'm looking for who to trade, right? So if I'm Ross right now and I'm talking on WhatsApp or Telegram and I'm messaging GM who can be prospects for me, then I want to keep maybe Jalen Wright or Ollie Gordon. Maybe the scheme would fit Achane. So if I'm Ross, I'm telling Cham Kelly to trade according to who may be getting an interview to replace you.
Anybody could be on the trading block right now.
But if it's not
you talking about Waddle or Achane?
So trade the hell out of whoever you need to trade.
Yeah, Waddle and you could trade Waddle and Achane, but they got to come at a price that if you sell a house, you're going to double the house price to sell it. And if someone wants to buy it, that's fine. But they're going to pay a heavy price.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is we get rid of these guys. I mean, Achane, you don't owe much money on, but Waddle, you just gave a 3-year extension.
I'm saying,
you got. If you get rid of Chubbs, you got somebody's got to take his salary. We can't afford to have all this dead cap. And I think McDaniels is going to be through 226 because they're not going to get rid of Tua. It's way too much money. I owe $55 million next year.
You didn't see the reports this morning, though?
I heard there's a way you could get rid of it.
No.
Well, they're saying pretty much that Tua might get benched by the end of probably by the end of the Madrid. If we start going downhill past Madrid, they're talking about benching them. It just came out like an hour ago. And they're saying that they're going to let McDaniel ride for the rest of the year, but he's not solidified to come back next year. So I guess they're both tied at the hip, in my opinion.
Rossini and somebody else said he's probably going to be there through the end of the year. I mean, if they pull Tua, it'd be smart just because you already got all this guaranteed money on him. Bench him and bring him back next year. Don't take a chance for him to get hurt. But you can't. You do got to say is McDaniels has made Tua a better quarterback. He's helped him out a little better. I mean, I think so.
Dudley has done a deep dive. Shout out to Dudley.
Okay, so I'd like to know in what sense do you think having 17 yards in the third quarter on Thursday night make it even reasonable for McDaniel to be elevating Tua? If anything, right now, McDaniel's working with scraps right now. And for Tua to get 17 yards of passing on Thursday night, I don't think he's elevating McDaniel. I think McDaniel's trying to make chicken salad out of chicken bleak. But at the end of the day, 17 yards is still 17 yards of passing in the third quarter. How can you salvage that and say that the coach is making him better?
I think he means.
I mean, that was one game. But if you still had Tyreek Hill, it didn't blow his knee. Tua's doing better. I said it as soon as Tyreek hurt himself at the game. I was down there. I said this offense is going to be terrible now. I don't care how much you like or hate Hill. Hill made that offense what it is.
Well, I'm not arguing that, but I was told that the quarterback makes the receiver.
You just made the case that Tua's not all that great.
I'm not saying he's that great, but Hill made Tua look a lot better than what he really is. And that's
what you need to say to yourself. You're saying that Hill made him look better. You're saying McDaniel made him look better. When the hell is the quarterback going to make himself look better?
Yeah,
right. I mean, he's not going to. I've been one of the biggest Tua supporters, but when you owe a man $55 million, you got to keep him. You got to keep him healthy so he doesn't get hurt.
Denver didn't keep Russell Wilson.
No. Denver didn't do it.
What I wanted.
Yeah, but we already have more. We already have a more negative cap right now. What Denver put in,
and if we make trades, we'll be in the positive if we make these trades. That's why they're letting Kelly do what he needs to do.
You're still gonna have a serious ton of cap hits.
It won't be as serious if we make the trades to compensate for that draft capital and that cap space that we're missing. If we make these trades, we can get back to 50-50. And if we take the hit on that quarterback contract, it won't be as much of a hit.
Yeah, you could spread Tua's money out for a couple of years.
Well, you can't spread
still
his
cut
money.
him.
So that's
You can't
Everybody
spread his
keeps
money out
saying we can't
anymore.
do this, we can't do that. They won't do
You
this, they
can-
won't
you-
do that. They won't
you
listen to
can
the
do it.
fans. They just listened to the fans on Thursday and they got rid of the GM that they didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
anything's possible, but I mean, if you go and try to get rid of all these guys, I mean,
No,
this is
my
where we
thing
need
is,
Tom.
if we
This
know
is where
this
we
is
need
wrong,
Tom.
I'm sick and tired of people saying we won't do this, we won't do that. If we know we suck, if we suck, we got to do something. Simple.
Yeah.
We just can't say, oh, we can't do this because that's who we are. No, we need to change that mindset too.
And that's where I think it would be maybe a good idea to bench Tua then, and take a chance that he get hurt, and then we can reevaluate after these trades. Get Ewers in there and see what he can do.
Do you
But if
think
all these guys
after
suck,
2-7, you think that now?
Well, I mean,
Well, I would have done it last week. But yeah, you can see how
he would have been on the fifth-year option if it was up to me.
Yeah,
right.
you
I
can
wouldn't
see
have
how
paid Tua. I
Ewers
wouldn't have paid
does.
Tua. Yeah.
You can see how Ewers and Zach does throughout the rest of the season. You could, and go from there.
McDaniels did the worst thing by benching Tua for Ewers there at the end of that fourth quarter 2 games ago, and then coming back out and letting him start the next game. That basically said, all right, you're fine. You can do whatever the hell you want.
That's what got Greer fired. That's what got Greer fired because his what was it? Top flight backup quarterback didn't get the play. And he wasted $6 million on that guy and had him on the bench. And that's what got him canned.
Yeah,
$7 million. Waller's contract and everything else that we've seen. Once I saw Derrick Henry run all over the field on us, and I said to myself, this guy signed OBJ over Derrick Henry. That even added more fuel to the flame.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Our
how you
biggest
guys doing again?
Our biggest problem is that we signed Tua to that huge contract.
Well, then you gave Water money, and then you gave Tyreek money.
I wanted to interject it because Cap made a few good points, but now I want to just add the numbers so everyone could just go on from there. So Dougley, shout out to Dougley Durong for doing this. He said that if you cut Judon and you let Chubb contract end, and you let Tyreek's contract end, and a couple more people who have like 2-3 million that you can cut, then you can have 12 million at the beginning of next season over the cap. Right now, you would wait till June 1st and trade Tua after June 1st next season, and then you would only owe Tua like maybe 14 million in 2027.
The biggest thing is you're not going to
the thing is
out there that's going to want to take Tua.
But then he said it is an option. He said it is an option to actually start renewing your season with the QB next season. It's a way out. That was the way out because what everyone else was seeing was 93 million left, right? 54 next year and then 27 in 2027. So people think that we're stuck. No, we're actually not. And you can make a trade, get a 4th, 5th round pick. They can pay 75% like Tennessee did with Tannehill, and we get a low pick.
That's right. Pick. They did pick up the contract from us. That's right, Sharif. The Tannehill contract, they picked it up. That's right.
Saints and Minnesota right now, without Flores. If Flores leave Minnesota, Saints in Minnesota would be prime for 9 games in a dome for Tua, and not having to worry about 2 games in the cold weather for Tua if he goes to Minnesota or Saints.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah,
there is a way out for Tua.
I was about to say the Saints, yeah.
That's a lot more than 2
morning,
games
Color.
in that conference.
Good morning, Color. How you doing?
Well, I guess actually the Bears
gentlemen.
and the
Color.
How's it going, Papa Paul? Johnny, how you doing?
Good.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I just had a quick
Good
question.
morning, Color.
Go ahead, Color.
My arthritis is getting to me, and I'm just having a hard time typing all this out because, man, y'all are just aggravating the heck out of me. I love every one of you. Man, Sharif, man. Sharif. No, I just have a quick question to ponder. Is it possible, and this is just a question, I'm not saying I believe this or anything, but I think it was Derek that just made a pretty interesting point or question about Greer or about benching Tua and then playing him the next week. I think that at first I thought, man, this is just like you finally bench somebody. If it's his first benching, which is supposed to come after, the first year like it did for Bryce Young. Usually, that first benching is kind of a slap in the face, wake a guy up. He don't lose his job over it. You know what I mean? Kind of like Carolina did with Bryce Young. They end up putting him back in, but
it's like a reprimand.
Right. Which we all would say if that was the case, man, that's a little too little, way too late. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
By now, if you're benching the guy, you're done with him. You know what I mean? But it did make me wonder, with Greer being fired, a week later after another loss, is it possible that Greer had a problem with McDaniel benching Tua? Is it possible that Greer is the
Can I answer that first?
Is it possible that Greer is the hand that put Tua back on the field this week, much like he's the one that kept Jesse Davis on the field?
Because he wants
to make
contract.
Can I answer that? Let me answer that quick. Because
y'all can answer.
By the way, if you follow
for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, right? This is why Color and I go deep on Coast to Coast late nights. We deep dive into this type of stuff. And if you follow what McDaniel did, right? We talk about who vouched for Tua in the office upstairs to get paid. We saw week 3, all of the media coming out and defending Mike McDaniel for the limitations of the quarterback. We see once again who's choosing the coach over the GM in certain scenarios, Color. And I would say this, that when you identify that it's the infighting of Tua saying in week 2 of the press conference, oh, I don't know what the offensive play caller is doing. Maybe McDaniel has to look at that. So it was a coach against GM and the QB against coach. And then, like you said, they put viewers in, probably something that Greer wouldn't want. But Greer was taken out of making any move since week 1 because Champ Kelly was an assistant GM. So when you identify all of these timelines, I can see where Ross was like, I like McDaniel over you. Don't make any moves before week 8. And if McDaniel sees fit to do something, just stay out of it. Your dad just died. I'm not going to fire you week 2. Your dad died. I'm going to eventually fire you. So that's my answer to that, Color.
Now, did you guys see at the beginning of the year, like during the free agency time, when Greer came out and said that he should have put his foot down more and made more of a decision? I'm just wondering if there's a possibility Greer was like pretty much whatever McDaniel said, I'm doing it my way. You have no say. Because if you go back and look at all that, I think that's a good possibility. And yes, I
agree. I think
that
you're
is
right.
Very interesting.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right for seeing that, because that's what is being presented before our eyes. That's a natural, logical hypothesis. But but the problem with it is it flies in the face of everything that they have adamantly told us about this being a big collective, and that everybody's got equal say. And if that
exactly.
But at the same time, I can see how if he tried to balk the collective, well, the last person that balked the collective is in Minnesota right now. So you could be onto something, because if he did try to balk the collective, then that could be why he
kind of screwed himself, though, Color, because he was trying to say from the get-go, the beginning of the season, this is going to be the reset. This is going to be this is not a rebuild. This is a reset. Well, that reset in this one season really screwed him over.
And then that's probably another reason why
I have a hard time reconciling the animosity that is obvious now between Tua and McDaniel, with Greer being the one to get fired because Tua went back in. Like, that doesn't make sense to me unless Greer is the one that keeps pushing Tua.
That's got to be. Greer's got to be the one that's doing that. He's the one that's putting his foot down
And it
and saying, "All
happened
right,
before, Color, week 7. Fitzmagic cried, bro. And players in the NFL just don't cry saying, I found out on ESPN that I was benched. And Flores didn't make that decision. Greer is a bitch. I have to say that.
Well, this goes all the way back to, and it turns out that Flores was right. He didn't want Tua. He did not want him. He wanted Herbert or somebody else, Love or whatever. And they drafted Tua, and that's what ruined, Flores' relationship with the GM and the team, and because he didn't want to support Tua, he didn't want to put him in, and it goes back to, all right, that seems like the GM is making the decisions because the coach had no say in it. When you have a coach sitting in a war room saying, I don't want this guy, and they still go draft him, and this is the quarterback you're going to have to deal with, that kind of handcuffs the coach.
Right. Well, the second time it was McDaniel, you're going to have to deal with Tua.
And Johnny, we have all suggested, and some of us have thought, I don't know where your thoughts are on it, that, the whole idea behind why our backups look so bad over the last couple of years is because, there's a standing order not to upstage QB1. You know what I mean? Now that's obviously speculative.
I don't know if there's a standing. I don't know if there's a standing order, but I've said it many a times.
You get what I'm saying? That's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Yeah, because nobody can be that bad as a backup. You know what I mean? Like Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, the problem is they don't change the playbook to the quarterback. They're running the exact same system where it's get rid of the ball quickly. This is where you're going to throw it. The wide receiver will be there. Just throw it. That's right, not.
But see, that could be what I mean by
because of your hip, because of your ankle and your brain. That's why they're running those plays.
Hold on, Sharif. Nobody's going to make it look obvious if that's what the standing order was. So keep the playbook the same and hope that the fans don't notice that nuance, that didn't work on us. You know what I mean?
We all know it. They drafted Ewers because he's just another Tua. He does not have a very strong arm. It's not. I think it's a little stronger than Tua, but not by much.
What have I always said, Johnny? I've always said if QB3 is better than QB2, then he has to be inherently better than Tua because the window between Tua and QB2 is so small that nobody can thread it. You either have to be better than Tua or you have to be worse than the QB2.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at what they did.
Yeah.
But real quick, I noticed Carla, as much as she dislikes me, obviously listens to me because she says it's been leaked that McDaniel is going to be the new GM and head coach, Belichick style. And the funny about her saying it's been leaked is that I did make that suggestion the other night when he got fired that they're going to hire a yes man GM for McDaniel because McDaniel is going to be the quasi GM as well.
Well, then Ross just saved the money and give them both to this.
Let me just say,
real quick, Johnny, just let me preface why I said that, because I am starting to think it's something that somebody just said a minute ago, that Stephen Ross has found his guy, and it's not Chris Greer, and that's why Chris Greer just got fired.
Well, then as the owner, don't bother spending the money. Just give McDaniel both jobs, and this way we all know where to point the finger when things go well and where to point the finger when it goes bad.
I don't know if that would go over well.
Are you saying you're okay with Champ Kelly?
Hold on. I don't know if he could get away with that with the fans because Mike is so young still.
Hey. Well, my thing is
Shula was awful young when he was hired the first time as a head coach, and Shula pretty much ran the team even when there was a GM.
And that's what I suspect that Ross is trying to model after, because look at the offense we're running. I mean, we haven't seen some of these formations since 1972.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if they gave GM duties to him, bro. That would be nuts.
Okay, so that being said, right, Color, let me ask you this, because you weren't on the panel. I asked the question 10 minutes ago. If we can't look at the trades by Tuesday 2 p.m. unless we look at who Ross is going to be talking to on WhatsApp, on Telegram, who is he talking to for the premier GM at the end of the season to replace Champ Kelly? That GM will be bringing in their own scheme. So when we talk about A-Chain, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright, Those are three different scheme running backs. Who do you keep? Who do you trade according to the GM who would be here? Now that you mentioned McDaniel could be that, then to me,
those
I don't
questions
even
are
know
already
who
being
you trade
answered.
and who do you
Exactly. Those
keep.
questions, right, Sharif? Those questions are already being answered currently with the, like Carlos suggests, the quasi GM that's already in the building.
Yeah,
I would
I
go get
thought
Alonzo
Ross
Highsmith,
picked the
bro.
scheme. I mean, I
Go get
thought
Alonzo Highsmith. He's an up and coming guy, bro. He's from Miami. He knows the South Florida personnel. He knows the South Florida talent. The guy's put together a roster in Green Bay that helped Aaron Rodgers win the Super Bowl. He helped draft Baker Mayfield. He helped develop Drake May. I mean, I don't know what other guys you got out there as far as the Eagles backup
Calais
GM
Campbell.
and grooming.
I like Calais Campbell. In sports management, he's into that.
Aaron Rodgers can win with.
He's been working on himself to work his way up the front office. Calais Campbell is, to me, he has a good eye, and I think he would pick himself. Yeah, I think he would pick guys like himself. He'd pick a bunch of himself.
1 year out.
Yeah, but you got to move up the ranks. You just can't leave from playing just to all of a sudden become a GM. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's
he's
like,
transitioning just as fast as Teron Armstead. I think Calais is transitioning very fast. Just as fast
guys
as
got to
Teron
get in the
Armstead.
system. They got to learn how to do contracts. There's so much to learn when you're a GM.
The only one that I've seen turn from like a player to like a front office executive real fast was Mayo, and they let go of Mayo.
Well, remember,
it's like John Lynch. It was John Lynch.
I've always
John Lynch was a good one.
But Lynch was in the program for a long time.
There's all kinds of duties that a GM does that is not football related.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I mean by hiring a yes man, a guy that does all of that stuff. But when it comes to ordering the groceries for the team, that's going to be on McDaniel.
Yep. And I can tell you right now, if McDaniel hires Calais Campbell, it's going to be a tandem work. It's not going to be Calais telling McDaniel, this is what I'm going to do.
I like Cece.
Calais is going to tell. Calais is going to tell.
He needs a resume, though.
But the thing is, he's
for
going
the
to tell
record,
McDaniel,
for the record, Carla, my high school quarterback. Hold on, Sharif. I gotta correct the record. My high school quarterback could not even throw as good as Tua. Just so y'all know.
So when it comes to like Calais Campbell, it would be the guy who would. I just played for you a year ago, and so when I'm coming to be the GM with you, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
So what if I brought this up to you,
firing everybody up?
What if I brought this up to you, Sharif? Yeah. What if Calais Campbell was on board with Alonzo Highsmith's staff, since they're both from the University of Miami?
I think you get a collective. If Calais hires Alonzo Smith, what is the problem with that?
Or vice versa. What if Highsmith hires Calais Campbell as an apprentice?
I do not want Calais Campbell as a...
No. We need a damn revolution in Miami. We don't need another collective, man.
If Calais Campbell goes anywhere,
my thing is this:
the team he got drafted with.
But okay, so that means George Seiferd's scheme is going to stay here. That's the preference of what we're talking about. If George Seifert is going to stay with McDaniel, then the GM is going to come in and get guys who's going to work in this scheme, a la Jerry Rice, John Taylor.
Sharif, you and I both know they're going to blow it up. Bro. They're going to blow it up.
Wait, I think Sharif was just
we can't
quantum
say
physics or something. Wait, George Seifert? Wait, what?
That's who run the whole. People don't know that. That's who run this scheme, sir. Yes, sir. That's who. Hey, I'm sorry. I had to go. I'm old. I just spoke my age.
Well, you're not old enough, Sharif, because it was actually Walsh, not
Walsh invented that system. Not he inherited it.
Walsh, yeah.
Seifert came in after
George
Walsh
Seifert inherited it.
Pieces, man.
I was born when Seifert was dominating it.
Yeah, well, I was there long before that. Walsh invented that system.
Yeah, Walsh invented it in Cincinnati. It wasn't even invented on the West Coast. The West and West Coast doesn't mean from California. It means that the plays are run East and West. We're trying to outflank the defense.
And when you watch George Seifert offense, it's Roger Craig split right, and guess who's behind Roger Craig? The running back. And it was the same thing. Clark,
Sharif has got his
Rice,
hearing aid in
and
today,
Taylor.
Johnny.
Yeah, not at all. Seifert took over Walsh's scheme.
It was Walsh. It was Bill Walsh.
No, I know. When I was born and I watched the 49ers, it's the same thing that the Dolphins do. That was my point.
Yeah, we're just letting you know before you were born. We were just letting you know before that you were born.
Oh,
they
yeah.
were already doing that for 5 years.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot it was Walsh. Yeah, that's on me. But what is beautiful is Tua has took the quarterback dynamic into the fakes, how he spins around, fakes the handoff, fakes the reverses. Tua, that's the only unique thing that I see Tua has brought to the Walsh offense. That uniqueness of making guys. But other than the handwork, other than that, that's the only thing I think that's I've seen unique.
It's Seifert's offense a lot more before it's the Shanahan's offense, though. He's got a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just refine it. They look at things and say this will work a little better, or they try and figure it out. But the problem is, when you had Joe Montana, who did not have happy feet, you had Steve Young, who did not have happy feet. Now you're trying to do it with Tua. Look at some of the pictures they take when Tua releases the ball. His damn eyes are closed. God damn, brother, look down the field.
And the offense was never 3 seconds. You got to get it out. 2.8 seconds. It was never. Offense was never built around that shit.
17 yards in the third quarter.
Just made a good point. Hold on, Johnny just pointed out something very interesting, and I don't want to get in the weeds with mechanics too much and all that, but you've thrown footballs before, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
You know what happens when you close your eyes and launch it into the air and lose all control? What happens to the ball?
It goes wherever the hell it wants to go.
It sails, it floats, it takes 3 days to get there, and it shoots straight up into the clouds and comes straight down, right?
Why is Mahomes as good as he is? Because he's always looking downfield. Why is Josh Allen as good as he is? Even when he's releasing the ball, he's still looking at his target.
Right.
Look at some of the pictures they're taking of Tua. When he releases the ball, his goddamn eyes are closed.
Right. So you naturally gravitated towards looking down the field, right? Which we already know, besides closing his eyes when he throws, that Tua has a problem with. Because whenever he experiences any kind of pressure in his peripheral, he looks to run. He looks down to the ground. And lately, within the last 3 games at least, have you noticed what happens when he squirts out of the pocket? The first thing he's doing is turning his body almost all the way around to check his 6. And there's nobody for 15, 20 yards behind him.
He can't feel the pressure.
So he has to now reset his eyes down the field. And what happens? There's not enough time to do that. The ball gets thrown away.
Yep.
So when his receivers are out there doing comeback drills and scramble drills, he's checking his 6.
For those of you that don't know what he's talking about, he's talking about he's checking his back.
Yeah, he's literally turning his head around, checking to see if somebody's behind him, tracking him.
Yeah, he can't feel the pressure behind him.
So that's either one of two things. That's either a prima donna that doesn't want a grass stain on his jersey, or that's somebody that is in fear.
He's in fear.
Getting hit again
and
getting knocked out.
He does his fake handoff.
Definitely worried about that.
Turns his body all the way around.
Anyway, I gotta go.
The main thing
I gotta go out to eat. I'll see you guys.
Enjoy.
What does fear do to a football player? To anybody that's playing a violent sport? What does fear do?
You're gonna suck.
Fear puts you in danger. Fear gets you hurt. And what happens to Tua more than any other quarterback in the league? He gets hurt.
He's playing in fear right now. Watch his feet. Go back and watch the film. His feet are dancing all over. He's not getting his hips around. He's not getting his feet set. He's throwing off his back foot whenever there's any pressure, which takes velocity off the ball. I mean, it's real simple. Watch him.
And his sycophants would just say, well, how would you feel behind an offensive line like that?
I understand that, but when you watch a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, a Mahomes, they're always looking downfield. Even when there's pressure, they're still looking. That's why Mahomes will drop his arm at a funny angle and get rid of the ball or throw it as he's diving.
That's where the safety is at. And I don't mean the defensive back. I mean, that's where the safety is at.
Right.
In other words, checking your 6 is not how you keep safe. Keeping your eyes down the field and getting rid of the football is how you keep safe.
Yep. Look at
the guy
Mahomes.
ain't gonna tackle you if the ball's out of your hand, generally speaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at Mahomes. He'll be diving like he's going for a first down and all of a sudden throw the ball because he's still looking downfield and sees a shirt and says, "That's my guy." And
right. And as long as your eyes are down the field, the defender that might be tracking you from behind is not going to hit you because he doesn't want to take the chance that he's going to do it after the ball leaves your hands.
Yep. It's Tua plays scared. His feet are all over. He can't get his hips set. He throws off his back foot. This year has been an absolute clinic on what not to do as a quarterback. And I'm not putting all the blame for the losses on Tua because it's not all on him. I mean, the team in general is not good. But I've been saying that since February or March. We were only going to win 5 or 6 games, and we ain't even going to do that. So,
the biggest difference I've noticed from Tua is look at the previous years when he's trained with Perform, and now that he hasn't this year. It's a night and day difference.
Yeah, because he wanted to spend all his time with his family in Hawaii.
Yep, he's falling back on his bad traits, and you could see it. Like even when he tried to throw that 50-yarders to the end zone, he couldn't even. He threw off his back foot, and he launched it straight.
He was looking straight, just like Johnny said. He was looking straight up into the air with his eyes closed.
Right.
There are numerous photos out there of him releasing the ball, and his eyes are closed. Bro, are you kidding me? You're an NFL quarterback making $55 million a year. Keep your eyes downfield. Look for your jersey. You know what color you're wearing every goddamn day. And if you don't believe me, look at the other quarterbacks. And this is one of the greatest examples. For any of you guys that are old enough to remember Wayne Gretzky, I saw an interview with Wayne, and this gentleman said to him, he goes, "How do you find your guys the way you do to rack up all these assists?" And Wayne looked at the guy and said, "It's easy. I look for the color of the socks we're wearing that day, and I put the puck 3 feet in front of the socks." And the guy looked at him and said, "What?" He goes, "I know what color socks we're wearing. I know where the stick is going to be. I put the puck 3 feet in front of his socks, and he's got a chance to score."
So brilliant.
That's it. That's what made him so good. It wasn't that
mystically brilliant. You know what I mean? I love it.
Because he was looking for the colors.
I got a quick question for you.
That's usually what the Hall of Famers implement is simplistic brilliance. You know, that's why they're so great.
Right.
They figured it out. You know what I mean? That's so easy. It is easy. It's just hard to figure it out.
Color, I got a quick question for you. There's been a lot of people talking on some of the pages. What would be your thoughts if they tried to bring in Louis Rick for a DM?
Man, I don't want to throw shade on the man because I really don't know him. I don't know him personally, and I really haven't followed his takes or much and all that. I'm just really apprehensive towards bringing in a guy that's been in the booth, that seems to know everything, that the fans love, because it's a different perspective from there until when you get in the building and you realize you have all kinds of other humans to interact with and their wants and desires and needs and whatever else, then you end up like Mike Mayock. And that's what I'm really worried about with a guy like Riddick. I'm not trying to say that he will be that, because every man deserves to stand on their own merit. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that type of move it screams Mike Mayock to me. So I'd be a little concerned. I'd have to roll with it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. The guy is smart, so I wouldn't be scared that he'd be making wrong decisions per se. You know?
Well, yeah, that was one of my biggest things too. It's like, that's the thing you had to fall back on.
Well, it's really easy to sit in a booth and be a talking head when all you're doing is talking about that particular
Go get
team,
that guy. It's just like our
play.
fans, Johnny. It's just like our fans. Go get that guy. Go get that guy. It's not quite that cut and dry. It's not Madden. You can't just tell the computer to go get that guy.
Right. And we as fans, we all say, listen, we get to the off season and you see a ton of mock drafts and everybody's got different opinions on who we should draft, and we're not in the building. We're not in the war room. We're not in the process of evaluating talent, or, we can see what we need. Doesn't mean they're going to go after it. Every draft is different. Every pick is different. I've said it for years. Every kid that comes out of college, some of them have some natural talent and they can turn it into NFL talent. Other guys don't have the heart to play in the NFL. They get drafted and it's just not there.
Yeah. That being said, Do I think Louis Riddick would have drafted Tyreek Stevenson over Cam Smith? Yeah, of course he would have, because his football acumen is much better than Greer's.
Yeah, well, Greer just showed. Listen, one of the reasons Greer got fired. Look at our first 2 picks this year. What have they done?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Your first 2 picks in a draft
Yeah,
where you said you were doing a soft reset.
We just cut Cam Smith in Tyreek Stevenson's 3rd year, and he's balling in Chicago.
And Greer, our first 2 picks have done absolutely nothing for us this year. And, you know, those are your first 2 picks in what you called a soft rebuild, which is no such thing as a soft rebuild. You're either rebuilding or you're not. You can sell it how you want. It's still a rebuild. But your first 2 picks, an offensive and a defensive lineman, have done 0 this year.
And they even all the guys like Riddick and a couple of the other guys came out right when they drafted Kenneth Grant. They automatically said he was a decent player, but the guy beside him that went in the first round, he's at the Browns now, made him what he is, and he said that guy was a 3rd round pick.
Okay, guys, it's 11 o'clock. Let's call it a day.
Good show, guys. A lot of good conversation. Glad to have everybody on the panel.
Yeah, appreciate y'all letting me come up and yell at everybody.
Absolutely. Anytime, brother.
Color anytime.
Yeah, Paul, thanks for everything. Johnny O, I'll see you at the game on Sunday, sir. Maybe, actually Saturday. Hopefully we'll meet up something.
I'll be down there, brother.
And I'll be there too, so.
I fly on Friday.
Y'all have a good day. God bless y'all. Peace, love,
and fins up, all.
Peace, love, fins up, Paul. Bye-bye.